Okay, so as you see by the title, this is a remaster. I've never done remasters before, and it's kind of a problem for me, since I don't go over previous ones but instead making sequels. Sorry about that. And yeah, so it's harder for me to add some stuff because I had to switch out Jude because he does not have a char. As you can see here, everybody but Z and the Central Camp characters don't have chars on this tier list. I tried doing an image and it sucked, so I've replaced Jude with Z, and because I feel like Emma is more deserving to have more story, I've decided to put her in as the other one just because I feel like we need a full-on 26 player cast instead of a 25 contestant cast. That means there still has to be a double elimination somewhere. So, yeah. And I've decided to just put the two-parters. There's not going to be a two-parter, but there's only going to be one. So, this will be the entire thing of Island. If you do like this remaster of a video, I think I did about 8 to 7 months ago, 6 months ago, in fact. So, it'll be renamed to What If Alejandro, Sierra, and Z were in Total Drama Island. I will not include Emma because that'll be a too long title, and because I want to use her as a surprise one when they join in. So, yeah. Okay. So, all the introductions stay the same. And then we get Z's one. We get Z's one, which he shows his audition tape. Well, half of it because it kind of uses a bit. So he says that, "Yo, I'm Z, and I'm here to play. I don't care if I win. I don't care if I lose." And then comes Sierra, who isn't fangirl crazy. She's just a bit normal. She's a bit gimmicky, but she's put on the killer bass because I feel like there needs to be more girls on one team, more guys on the other team. So because I didn't want a massive majority, as you can see here, that's why I put Z on here and not Sierra. If you think about it, because there'll be too many girls. So yeah, and then Alejandro comes in. Justin puts him as number one target because he's swooning all the ladies, including Emma and everyone else, pretty much. Like even some guys like Owen, Cody, Tyler, Ezekiel, maybe even Jeff and Harold, because listen, like no one knows him, no one because he's most secretive, and he is gonna mention about Jose, but it'll be more like in a future challenge. So in Not So Happy Campers Part 2, they all jump off the cliff. Z would do it either way or shape or form. I think he would get in, more or less. And Heather is going to be still the main villain, as you know. So, I basically could just say the same thing pretty much happens, and the Screaming Gophers win. Ezekiel says his sexist remarks, and he gets eliminated. I'm going with the same story. I'm not going with Courtney being kicked off like in TD Wanderer's timeline. And then this is where it gets confusing. So I need to add new plot in. I'm gonna say Alejandro and Eva talk, I guess, because yeah, and they agree on an alliance because Eva is not fondly liked on her team, and if they lose, she's the most one. She's most likely to be the one eliminated next. So Alejandro goes to Courtney and also goes to Katie and Sadie to ask for an alliance between them because they could work in that his scheme, but we don't know if it'll work. And also, he also asked Sierra, who's a bit more boy crazy like Beth, so it makes sense that he goes up to Sierra as well. Bridget and Jeff talk as the Gwen and Trent couple do, like Gwen and Trent will as well. Emma and Noah talk as well. They fall asleep together, but instead of him kissing Cody, he acts and then but Noah who accidentally kisses Emma, and they accidentally scream by accident, and Noah apologizes saying, he's a heartthrob and he randomly has dreams and he accidentally kisses stuff like one. And between them, they talk about embarrassing stuff, but it just starts for a correlation, a romance between them. Yes, I'm putting it in this season. So, I think either way, Gwen will still beat Duncan, so Killer Bass lose. And most likely, I really just think that Courtney will just think because they don't because Eve Courtney doesn't know Katie and Sadie are in the alliance, so Courtney gets really everyone to vote off Sadie. She has no plot. She has no needing to be here. It makes sense that she's gone. Then we have Dodgeball, which is more easier because we have one reserve space that could work. So on the Screaming Gophers, it would be Owen, Emma, Trent. No, it wasn't Trent. It was Heather, LaShawna, and for one guy, I guess, and yeah, Cody as well. Now on this team, they would put in Alejandro, DJ, Katie, Courtney, and Tyler. But then he gets replaced by Duncan. So yeah, they lose the first 2 rounds by easy tactics, and some people do have to switch, like Izzy come in, Gwen come in, Noah comes in. He has his world tour up because I don't like Island Noah. And it makes sense because Eva is still here. She is really good at this, so it makes sense the Screaming Gophers either way go massively lost because Eva would join in because she is still tired, but she replaces DJ and comes in and beats them. So the obvious choice would be Z, which means he could be the one eliminated, but Heather needs to get Justin out because of his popularity. So Justin is eliminated. Bam! That's how you eliminate a big target. Literally get everyone to vote him off because he could just get past everyone because of his beauty. So it makes sense that he is the one eliminated. And then we have Not Quite Famous. I think the top 3 maybe being chosen. Alejandro, of course. I'm going to say maybe, yeah, I think Courtney would still do it, but I don't think Bridget would accidentally hurt Courtney, and I don't think DJ could work in this case, so I'm going to go with maybe, I'll go with Harold, just because, and on the Screaming Gophers, Heather automatically does herself as the one. I'm going to say Trent with a guitar, and because Justin has already been voted off, so it makes sense that someone else needs to come in and do it. And I'm just going to go with Emma, just because we need more story with Emma. Emma and Noah still talk a lot, and Noah decides to make it a bold alliance and make it with Noah, himself, Emma, Izzy, and Owen, and Z. Just because he knows that if they lose, he will be the one voted off. He is very tech savvy and snarky, so it makes sense he would be the one voted off because he needs one more person to be convinced, and the obvious one is Cody. So that's 6 between 5. No, 6. It's 6 versus 6. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for them. So either way, Harold astonishes Chef, and the Screaming Gophers lose. Obviously. And because I don't think LaShawna would most likely would not take Heather's side, nor would Trent or Gwen. They most likely join Heather. They most likely join Noah, I'm sorry, and join partially in a 9-way vote, a 9 versus 3, to get Heather out. I am joking, Heather isn't the main villain. I decided to make someone else the main villain. Goodbye, Heather. You were obvious one. You literally did Gwen's diary. Of course, you're the one being voted off. Okay. Then we have the Sucky Outdoors, which could most likely just stay the same. But Katie doesn't get lost. That's the problem. Katie is already lost Sadie. So it makes sense they don't actually lose. The Screaming Gophers lose. Because if Katie doesn't go by herself, the killer bass wins either way. And I feel like Gwen, Lashawna, and Trent just decide to just target one of the other two, and I feel like the better off of the two is Beth to go. Beth has no story left after Heather's gone. Beth, you're eliminated. Then we have phobia factor. Now, because there's people that actually haven't been here yet, Alejandro has to fight Jose. That is obvious. They fight, and because Alejandro doesn't have that strength yet, he is losing this, obviously. Then we have Katie, which I could just go with the same thing with Sadie and Lindsay and have bad hair day. Eva, maybe being contained in solitary confinement. Yeah, I'm going insane with that because if that's MK's literal fear, Eva could have that fear as well. Sierra, I have no idea what her fear would be. It could also be maybe being without a boy, but Cody is not famous yet. No one's really famous besides Justin, and he's eliminated. So I don't know who would actually work in this case. But obviously, either way, the killer bass lose because of Tyler. But I'm gonna look at the distribution of male and female, and a male needs to go. So, I am sorry, Tyler, you are eliminated, even though Alejandro's fear was pretty hilarious. Either way, and this starts Alejandro's reconnaissance and trying to be more villainous, and leading it to his way. Alejandro decides to team up still with either Courtney, Sierra, even Duncan, and Katie. That is 6v4. So either way, if his team loses, he is not the one voted off. Okay, this literal episode doesn't have to talk about it because Beth's gone, so we can't use the totem. So either way, Izzy's gone. We can agree with that, and Cody is still getting mauled by the lion. I mean, bear. So those two episodes don't have to matter. Besides more Noah and Emma, couple stuff, and Gwen and Trent literally starting to hook up. Of course, they won't have that moment because they'll run out of time for their dares. So it makes sense that their alliance still stays with Lashawna. So then, if you can't take the heat, just because there's an uneven amount of players, Chris decides to put Sierra on the Screen Gophers for now. And either way, Owen's gonna eat up most of the food. We can agree with that. And yeah, either way, Noah would have to talk to Lindsay to help him be a 4v5 elimination. And Noah's target would most likely be Sierra. So goodbye, Sierra. Nice knowing you. Goodbye. Because he is happy to be in the main alliance, so he doesn't get shoot off next. And yeah, obviously, he's happy. It's good. He's really happy about it. And as you can see, there are 8 girls and 9 boys. It's easier to say the least that the double elimination will happen in the merge, but either way, there's still going to be an elimination episode in Brunch of Disgustingness. So yeah. Basic straining, I can basically say the same thing happened, but Alejandro is here. He can literally spot Harold doing it. He tells Chris about this. And either way, it's no shot. Harold's gone. Obviously. Oh yeah, and who can you trust? Yeah, like, Katie's still eliminated. We can agree with that. Like, Katie's still screwed because she doesn't have a proper alliance, just because I feel like Alejandro would just betray her. And then we have extreme torture, which was the massive problem for me, because Heather's gone. So, how could the Killer Bass lose? That's the thing. They don't, is the thing. So, the final person to go is I don't know. I guess I could just put it down as a double elimination. But I feel like to make sense, a guy needs to go. And I'm just gonna say Owen because I feel like Noah would just have more votes for it, and Noah had no other choice but to get Z and Emma to vote for Owen. So yeah, and Lindsay of course, and that's why Owen is eliminated. And now we have the boys versus the girls. So there are no comebacks. That's the thing. There are no comebacks either way. So this episode will be a double elimination, and instead of being called Brunch with Girlfriend, it'll just be called Double Extravagant. I'm literally thinking this off the spot. Extravagant C. Double Extravagant C, I guess. As a double elimination on the boys and girls. So, the obvious pick, Eva's gone. Eva's gone. She's the most unliked in this section, so they all just agree to vote off Eva. And the other one to go is it's unsurably, but I'm thinking maybe not Z, not Noah, maybe Duncan. I feel like Duncan would be the one being voted off suddenly. Yeah, I'm very sure. And then we have the final 12. Jeff, Alejandro, DJ, Noah, Z, and Trent. Emma, Lindsay, Courtney, Bridget, Gwen, and LaShawna. So, like, because there's no Heather, Trent isn't going to be screwed over. That's the thing. That is actually the problem. So, Trent's actually lucky he gets to still be with Gwen. He's lucky. The love triangle will never happen in this timeline. Yes, I'm making another. What if the love triangle never happened? So, yeah. And in No Pain, No Gain, no one comes back, so it's unsure who would actually win. But maybe LaShawna, of course. LaShawna still wins. Maybe against Emma and Courtney. So, yeah. And the votes are very mixed. So, it's going to be hard who to vote, but I'm going to guess maybe they might have to choose the villainous Courtney. Courtney's a massive target if you think about it, because this is not, because it can either be, these next couple of episodes cannot be Island Courtney. This can be the one, the only action and world tour and all-stars Courtney. So it makes sense that she's the massive threat. She is the Eva. I'm sorry, I'm making the joke of it. So yeah, and then we have Search and Do Not Destroy, which could either go either way. But I need to make a random number generator just because I don't know who would actually work in this case. So I put them in their order already. So the random number generator, it has to be out of 13 and number 11. Lindsay, you have got a mutie by the random number generator, which means you're lucky, I guess. So, I think a guy would maybe need to go. And Alejandro's got beauty over brains. But I feel like the lucky loser is Jeff. And Bridget's the one solemn and sad. Z has to go to her and say, it's fine. I got your back. You can join, you can literally help us. What do you mean us? Between us, me, Noah, Emma, and Lindsay have the alliance. We need more people since one of our alliance members, Owen, was eliminated. I know I'm being randomly strategic instead of being chill, but I need this $1 million. If I get this $1 million, I can literally get sponsored for a lot of soda brands. So that's cool. So the alliance is now bumped up to 5. To 5v5 either way. So in Hide and Be Sneaky, who is the one getting immunity? I'm just going to go for another random number generator. And I've got Alejandro wins, I guess. Okay, Alejandro wins. And I feel that alliance because there's no guys alliance because Duncan never makes it, so the girls just decide to boot DJ. Most likely because he has no alliance members. Trent and Gwen are together. Alejandro's not a big. He's only got immunity. Noah is a big threat, but he also has alliance members. So then we have that's off the chain, and maybe this is where Noah has to cut off Lindsay from the alliance. So I feel like this is where Lindsay gets eliminated. Hook, line, and sinker. So this is now the confusing part. What the hell am I gonna do here? Yeah, the first two eliminated would maybe, and then Noah and Emma's now a couple. We can say that. And I'm gonna say because I don't think anyone would really be scared instead of Z, and I think that's why he's the one eliminated in this case. Yeah, This is how I roll, I guess. Then we have Wobbinocker Gone Wild, which will just let Izzy have a cameo. But, like, that's it, because there's no comebacks. Izzy is still in the forest, so it makes sense that she has a cameo. So, the obvious pick would maybe be either Noah, Emma, or Bridget, but there are, if you think about it, there's more girls than boys. Bridget is the obvious choice to go. So, goodbye, Bridget. Now, the teens are very easily chosen. Alejandro and Noah. Trent and Emma, and then Gwen and Lashawna. Gwen and Lashawna obvious win immunity. That's obvious because they have a bond, and these four are kind of enemies. And I feel like the obvious pick to go. Alejandro begrudgingly tells Noah and Emma to vote off Trent because of popularity. So it makes sense that he's the one eliminated, which means Gwen still has she has a sad arc for these next two episodes. And then Hood capture is the confusing part. So Katie and Sadie are the reasons that LaShawn is eliminated. So either way, they're eliminated. Camp Castaways non-elimination episode. We don't care about that. And then Are We There? Yeti. So this is the hardest part because I've kept Noah and Emma the entire time. One of them either need to go, and one goes to the finale. They both go in the finale, or Alejandro and Noah clash again. So, I've already done a Noah and Emma. I've not done a Noah and Gwen finale. I have done a Noah and Emma finale. And I've done a Noah and... I've done pretty much always with Noah. I have not done always with Alejandro, but he's the villain, so he's the one going here. Gwen... I have used for many finales, but not enough finales. But either way, I feel like it's more obviously that it's going to go like this. Yeah, if it's going to be that Final Four, Noah and Emma are going to definitely work together. Either way, it's a very biased thing, but they're splitting the money either way. But the question is, do you want to just go for the action one? The action one and get the million? So, I'm now going to talk about the prelude episode, which will just be many teams, and I don't know why I did that many teams, but that's not really how it works. So, I better get the peanut gallery up here, so we have Ezekiel, Sadie, Justin, Heather, Beth, Tyler, Izzy, Cody, Sierra, Katie, Harold, Owen, Eva, and Duncan, Courtney, and Jeff, DJ, and Lindsay, Z, and Bridget, Trent, and Lashawna, Gwen, and Alejandro. So, the teens are more self-explanatory. Sorry about that. And T1, Noah, Emma, Z, Owen, and Izzy. Obviously. And maybe Eva as well. Because if Escape needs to happen, but it's team of 6. I'm just gonna call it the Team East Coast Gang. Then we have Gwen, Trent, and Lashawna. So because Owen isn't here, I should replace him with another person, and I feel the only person that would really work is Ezekiel. So Ezekiel, Tyler, Cody, and DJ are now a crew. So they get nearly center spotlight. Harold works with Heather and Alejandro, but also Justin as well. All three villains that would easily betray him. Harold and the Villains. It's a funny title. So then we have... Oh yeah, we need to get Gwent plus... I'm going to call it Gwent plus couple. No, Gwent plus the Shauna. There we go. And then we have Courtney and Duncan working with Sierra and maybe Lindsay and Beth. Duncan plus Lindsay, Beth and Sierra. So I guess there'll be a team of 3. There we go. And then Bridget, Jeff, Making Out, and Katie and Sadie. So there we have Gidget and Best Friends. Let's just call that. So there's 14 that are in action. Well, obviously the final 2 will be in action. Noah and Emma. Gwen and Alejandro obviously in. LaShawna and Trent as well. And Owen and Izzy will still be in action. Z is in action. I'm going to say, shockingly, Ezekiel is in action. And these guys don't make it, sadly. DJ still does. Justin, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2 more need to come in. Courtney and Duncan. Let's see the gender ratio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 2 guys. Okay, this is a problem. Why is this the ratio? Oh my god. Yeah, Duncan. Wait, I need to put these 2 back maybe, and maybe split them with. Oh, okay. No, Bridget doesn't work either way. I'm gonna say Harold gets in, but Ezekiel doesn't. That's 6, 7. Oh no! Great. Why do I have to mention that? Great. Lindsay, yeah, you're definitely in. That means 1 more girl, and I really just think it's gonna be Sierra. But it's without Cody, which is the problem. So I'm gonna choose Eva, weirdly. Yes, I'm choosing Eva over Sierra. So yeah, this is the cast for Total Drama Action. A weird choice to say the least. Because this is where new relationships come in. And others grow more. And for literally the final 4, actually Heather needs to be in as well. I'm going to kick off Lindsay. Sorry, no, Courtney. I'll just bring you back like how you did. So here is the 14 contestants. Season 2's villain will be Heather. Season 1 villain was Alejandro. Season 3's villain has not been confirmed. I'll see you later. I hope you like the Stream Master. And here is the peanut gallery of Total Drama Action. Jeff and Bridget will really already host without being in the season. So the peanut gallery is Jeff and Bridget, Katie and Sadie, Beth, sorry Tom McGillis, but I hate Beth, Duncan, Ezekiel, and Sierra, Tyler, Cody, DJ, and Courtney. This is a massive one because I have kicked off 12 people against these more 14 favourable characters and Eva. So yeah, that is it from me. I hope you like this remaster of What If Alejandro, Sierra, and Jude replaced with Z were in Total Drama Island. That is it from me. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for another video. Bye!